morning, everybody. Today we are going to learn about how to add mixed numbers with renaming. The learning objective will be for you to be able to understand how to add mixed numbers with renaming. I'm going to ask you to open up your math notebook on a new page so you can write today's date and this title plus the learning objective on top, okay? If you have your math textbook with you, you can also open up in page 141, which is going to be exactly the same picture that I have here. We have a word problem here. It says, Serena jogged 2 3/4 miles and walked 1.5 miles. How many miles did she jog and walk altogether? The word altogether here is telling me that I would have to add. But first of all, I want to show you the bar models representing each of these two mixed numbers that we have here. The first one is 2 3/4 miles. I have one whole, two wholes, and 3 pieces out of 4, which are representing the fraction 3/4, plus 1.5 miles. I have one whole here, and the half of the second whole, which is 1 1/2. Now my problem is that I need to add them, but I don't have like fractions here because the denominators are different. So what can I do? In this case, I would have to change or modify only the second fraction to make them like. How can I make this 2 into a 4? I would have to multiply the numerator and the denominator times 2 so I can make them like. Finally, my second fraction here will be converted into 2/4. And if you can see here in this model, 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. Now that I have like fractions here, I am able to add them. So remember, I add the wholes first, which is 2 plus 1 equals to 3, right? And then I can add my fractions. 3/4 plus 2/4, which is equals to 5/4. But let's take a look at how 3 and 5/4 looks like, okay? I have it here. I have 1, 2, 3 wholes, which are split into 4 pieces because my denominator is a 4. And then I also have these two other wholes, which are representing my fractions. Remember, I'm trying to represent 3 and 5/4. And if you can see, this fraction here is an improper fraction. Remember, that cannot be our last answer. We need to do something with that fraction. So let's see. I have 3 wholes so far, but then this fraction is telling me that I have another full whole here plus 1/4, right? So I have 1 whole and 1/4, which is the same as 5/4. Now if I add them, I will have 4 wholes. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 wholes and 1/4. Let's go back. Take a look. My answer is 4 wholes and 1/4. And that is how I rename mixed numbers. So in the end, my answer will be Serena jogged and walked 4 1/4 miles all together.